Hey guys, how's it going, Kripparrian here? Today I want to talk about a card that really was one of the wildest ones that come out in the Grand Tournament. It is the Fist of Jaraxxus. People looked at this card originally and, they saw its potential. So this card in the ideal situation is really cool, really awesome. This aspect of deck doesn't seem like it would work yet because there aren't that many super powerful discard mechanics in Hearthstone yet, but we'll see. There were still some cards that were yet to be released, yet to be seen out of the TGT expansion when this card came to light, so people were a bit optimistic, and maybe I was in the more optimistic group. So the expansion came out, and one of the first things I did is I made a discard Warlock deck. This is the Bad Lock. I played it on ladder. At the time I was actually Legend rank, so I played at Legend rank, and actually this deck took me the highest I was in Legend rank. I made it to like Legend 200 with this deck, which, I mean, it's obvious it doesn't really mean anything, but yeah, still, it was doing okay. It was beating other decks that people were trying to win the game with, and they had a history of winning the game, right? So that's all we're really saying here. The deck, the idea is I want to have as many mechanics that actually trigger Fist of Jaraxxus as possible, so I could really get to gauge just how useful the card is, at least right now. Now there is the new bargain card that kills 2 minions that I didn't include in the deck because it just seems like a really bad include, especially with Fist of Jaraxxus, because usually you use that card to remove their 2 big minions after you kill all their small minions, so it seems like Fist of Jaraxxus in that situation actually sucks. So I didn't want to include that card because that card is just too awful, but in terms of the rest of the deck, the idea is there. Soulfire is a good card. It discards some stuff, and sometimes you have Soulfire with something else that's pretty useful, and usually what I've seen in this deck, you either have no cards at all, or you have like Fist of Jaraxxus and maybe something that's a little bit clunky, so you kind of take a little bit of a chance, maybe get that Fist of Jaraxxus to go off. In some cases, you just want to dunk a Succubus on turn 2. It's not very frequent, but it does happen, and if you get lucky enough, you can maybe get a cool play, but yeah, that's a bit infrequent. And of course, the dream is mainly the Doomguard. The Doomguard is obviously just a really solid card on its own, and if you do discard a Fist of Jaraxxus or 2, which is the absolute dream, well, you're pretty happy because Doomguard is just a really big tempo play. And if you get even more tempo from discarding cards, Fist of Jaraxxus doing that 4 damage to a random enemy, well, it works out pretty well. So the card itself, Fist of Jaraxxus, it kind of works with this type of deck fairly well. It works with Tiny Knight of Evil, I guess, but I also learned that card is absolutely terrible. That card is just basically a 2-mana 3/2 demon. The effect is basically not there. Sometimes you get like a +1/+1 buff, but even that is pretty rare, even in a deck that deliberately tries to discard certain cards. So yeah, the overall theme, the deck right now, it's just not ready, but I can tell you guys, in the scenarios I've experienced, and I have played this deck quite a bit, what it's like. If you're curious, the deck has about a 50% win rate for me, which is not great, but a lot of people operate on that level, and then they just play enough games, they get a few lucky win streaks, and they can climb with a 50% win rate deck. But again, I don't recommend it. There's way better decks out there, and it's certainly not worth it to really try to explore the Fist of Jaraxxus any more than I have, I believe. I think we just need new cards added to the table. We need new discard mechanics for Fist of Jaraxxus to actually work. So Fist of Jaraxxus mechanics, there are some interesting things. So obviously the card itself is really bad if you have to play it. It's a 4 mana, do 4 damage to something random. There's literally no worse direct damage card in the game. I might be like, oh man, Flame Lance is so bad. It's not even like better than that. Fist of Jaraxxus, if you're paying the 4 mana, is absolutely terrible. But even in a deck that basically revolves off discarding cards and triggering this mechanic, even then, you will come up in a situation where you just have to play it for 4 mana because you don't have any cards that trigger discard from your hand, and you're in a situation where you desperately need some damage to be distributed on your opponent's board. So sometimes, and often really too much, you have to actually play the card for its full mana cost, and that is really the big downside here. So that's what kind of makes it really bad. The random effect makes it so when you discard, you might not actually get what you want. But there are some pretty cool combos. Some people have got this to trigger from Deathwing. Yeah, you can just discard your whole hand, and for each Fist of Jaraxxus that you discard, you do 4 damage to something random, but because you killed all those creatures, you do like 4 face damage, and sometimes it's pretty relevant, because if they're really low on life, can't deal with a Deathwing, and you just hit their face a whole bunch, that might set up a cool situation, but it's really hard to balance Fist of Jaraxxus in a slow deck. It really has to be in like a fast deck to get some consistency, even though my experience is that it's not even really consistent in that situation at all. So the card overall just doesn't really work. It's too ahead of its time, but it is a card with promise. You know, the more discard mechanics they introduce in the game, the more relevant, you know, this card is going to keep coming up. It's like, is it enough discard mechanics now? Can we play this deck? So, you know, it is a card that will come up again and again, and it will probably eventually have some very interesting interactions in some competitive decks, but it is just not its time. There's also some really weird stuff with the card. Fist of Jaraxxus doesn't actually have an image of Jaraxxus. I believe that's Archimond, but fortunately, one of the developers of Hearthstone, Ben Brode, clarified this. It is actually Jaraxxus. It's a Erdar Lord's skin actually changes color to match his mood, and it's actually Chillaxxus. All right, so those of you that were wondering why it's not actually Jaraxxus holding the fist there in the image, even though it is a pretty cool image, doesn't really seem to match what's going on. That's actually what's going on, I guess. I mean, who knew, right? It seems totally legit. But all in all, the card is still pretty fun. Right now, I told you guys it doesn't really fit the competitive theme yet, but it does fit this like theme of cards that just has some really wild interactions, some really wild and unexpected scenarios come up when this card is in your deck. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the interesting moments and success that I've had with the Bad Block deck. And, well, you guys can get some impression to better gauge the card, and maybe it's something you'd like to try. So, check out the clips, enjoy the games, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got the Void Terror combo, that's pretty good. Imp Gang boss is just super annoying, so I think I'll just keep the Imp Gang. This hand might again be a bit slow. Hopefully we'll draw 2-drop, and then we'll just coin out either the egg or... Oh... Okay, now we can't really do that because we have the Power Whelm combo, which is just too powerful. Yeah, guys, yesterday we ended the night with like some of the most unlucky games I've ever seen. We played for like 2 hours and didn't draw Nozdormu in the Nozdormu deck. That was the last 2 hours of play yesterday. So we might still be in that hole right now. We'll see. Let's do a few more games. Controller hand lock. I probably should be playing control decks because most people are playing mid-range or control decks.
Reporting for duty.
We'll give him the Flame MPS to lose the True Silver, so I don't really care about that too much. Alright, let's hope he doesn't have Equality Consecrate. If he has Peacekeeper, we're still fine, because we can just Void Terror, the Peacekeeper Void Terror, just put a shitload of health on the one I have. Well, I'm not thrilled about that, but that's okay. Oh, that's a misplay. Hey, Void Terror the Void Terror, and hope he doesn't have Peacekeeper for the Void Terror that ate the Peacekeeper Void Terror. Makes sense. The Kaldara Drake deck, I mean, I played that so much at like the previews and pre-release events and stuff that, I don't know. I just felt it was like a whatever deck, really.
Reporting for duty.
Or I draw another Implosion. Oh my god, really? Oh god, you know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. Okay. Okay, not bad actually. That's a pretty good little Fist of Jaraxxus there. Nah's good. Not anymore. Rip in peace. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Let's just save that combo for next turn. He has to gain life, which if he does, he can't really play that much. Or he has to get really lucky and play like a taunt or something. 33% lethal. Yeah, it's 33% lethal, but then if he has like a big clear play, I just lose the game if I draw badly next turn, because he just kill me. So with this, he needs fewer cards to be able to not lose, which is basically the exact situation I want to try to put him in.
Move quickly.
All right.
Put this apple on your head.
Never lucky, man. I was just testing my RNG, guys. It's just an RNG test. We failed. Soulfire's probably not going to do too much this early. We want it more in the mid game. Okay. Please no shielded minibot. Just run Blood Knight. It's not even that bad of an idea. Oh my god, what is that? What is that? Fuck that card, dude.
Put this apple on your head.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
I'll never tell.
Oh, it's this shit again.
Sever my wrath.
So it's repentance and competitive spirit. Okay.
For iron.
Enjoy a 2-2. Get a Divine Favor for 3. Actually, the new Secret Pally doesn't even run Divine Favor anymore, it runs shit like Tyrion.
I must move quickly. Get in there and fight, maggot.
Put this apple on your head.
From the void I come. Into the breach. Get in there and fight the maggot. My wrath.
Consecrate works pretty well. Also, that Mysterious Challenger shit is basically the only card you can win the game with right now. Looks like he hasn't drawn it. What the fuck? Alright. More secrets. Sure. I don't really think I actually care.
Thank you.
Like, he just Divine Favored and played out his hand anyway. He's obviously just wasting time. He's spamming his own character. You can see that by the highlight, so we'll just mute him to deny the satisfaction. Well, there's no more Divine Favors, so let's, oh god, really? What is that?
To the void. Into the breach.
Hey, catch!
Fist of Jaraxxus hard cast. Oh god, that card is so good.
Reporting for duty. Get in there and fight, maggot.
Wow.
Hey, catch!
I kind of want to Fist Jaraxxus, but I might hit that and pop out a taunt creature, so let's not do that. Alright, I'll keep this hand. We got the Doomguard Fist of Jaraxxus action.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Yeah, let's try it.
Put this apple on your head.
Nailed it. Bingo. If it's explosive, I'll get hit. Let's freeze. Oh, come on.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
What the fuck is that?
Get in there and fight, maggot.
That sucks. You know what to do. Oh, whoa. Almost fucked that up. Really? So I lost 2 1 out of 3s. Dude, joke's on you. I want that card discarded. Alright, let's just not fail 1 out of 3 again. Yeah, get fucked, doggy. Yeah! Alright, we got him. Maybe we should have gone face. No, I want to deny the beast for kill command. PETA. Don't call PETA, guys. I'm a vegan. They won't listen to you.
Put this apple on your head.
Oh yeah. No more unleashing. Wait, how am I gonna discard cards right now? So I have to like tap and then intentionally discard the next card to buff this by 1? That does not seem worth it right now. Well, actually, like, he has a kill command in hand for sure. So there's a pretty good chance that we actually just die this game.
My shield for Argus.
I can't draw any card that does 5 damage by itself, so I guess that's it. If he draws a beast that he can play kill command face twice and hero power. Fortunately not.